Here with Sharks President Jonathan Becher. And before we react to the draft lottery that we just witnessed, our hearts are still coming down from that one, you have an announcement to make.
Indeed. We're recording this right before 5 o'clock after the draft lottery. At 5 p.m. today, tickets go on sale. They don't actually cost anything for the draft lottery party here at SAP Center. For those of you who may remember, last year in about 10 days, we went through all 17,000 tickets. So if you want to come and celebrate with us, we're going to make the party bigger, bolder, and even better than it was last year. Go to Ticketmaster.com, check out the draft lottery party, get your ticket, reserve your spot now.
That's a great announcement. Yeah, by the time anybody watches this,
it'll be too late.
You'll be hopefully you got in. Let's talk about getting the second pick overall. And obviously the story of the draft is going to be the Islanders, who jumped, 9 spots?
Exactly.
Nobody had them as being one of even the outsiders. They were on the outside of the outside.
I think the Islanders were confused by that as well, that interview. So.
Yeah. I know we're the Sharks, and we're not here to comment on other teams, but in a way, it could have been worse depending on who else got that first pick. We're kind of okay with that.
I guess if somebody not named the Sharks gets a pick, you want them as far away as possible. Somebody you don't play very often, that there's not a natural rivalry as well. So I'm not okay with it. No, of course I am okay with it. That's the way the ping pong balls literally bounced.
And when you think about it, the Sharks actually had their fewest odds to pick second. That's the pick that San Jose ends up getting. And I also want to take it back because we look at the drafts of the llast couple of years. It was very clear-cut who was going to go number one. Last year, I don't think Mike Greer even had the choice. As soon as you got number one,
you knew who you were drafting.
You knew it would be Macklin. This year,
it was you last year.
I was not a free agent yet. This year, though, it's an interesting class because it's not as defined. And so a lot of people are already saying, and we're not here to speak for the hockey department, but the Sharks might get who they want anyway with the number 2 pick, just depending on how things go.
So we kind of had sorted out if the various people went 1 and we went 2 or 3, what would that actually mean? I never saw a scenario where the Islanders picked 1, and I think without Lou around, I really don't know what the Islanders are going to pick. So it's unclear who they're going to take. You know, we have the 3-player stack rank. I won't say who they're. I think it's perfectly plausible that who we wanted at 1 will be available at 2. You just don't know.
Did you hear that Lou Lamoriello is now going back to the Islanders after today?
Oh, no.
He's like, wait a second. Wait a second. So it's going to be a process, and I think to your point, there has been already so much work on this. It's not like the lottery happened today and the hockey side figures out who we're going to go with. Can you give us an idea of what they've been through already, even to get to today?
Well, I mean, every season we have amateur and pro scouts. The pro scouts are essentially looking at other teams and other players already in the NHL to see whether we want to make trades or any of that. The amateur scouts typically look at players in college and the OHL, over in Europe as well. We have scouts in lots of different countries as well, and kind of stack rank them. And so that's been going on all season. In fact, some of the players that are top 3, we've been looking at for a couple of years now as well, and they've changed their draft order. Our top 10 of what it looks like now doesn't have that much correlation to the top 10 when we came into the season. Several players have moved up substantially. A few players have come down as well. And so this is a continual exercise, and we'll have debates for the next month or so. And so even our top 10 right now may not end up with who we want on draft night.
It's just not as easy as last year for Mike Greer. As soon as you get number 1, you know who you're getting. One more point on that, though.
Before we go, remember we get 2 players, and we don't know where we're drafting the second player yet either.
In the first round.
In the first round, that's right, because we got Dallas's pick as well.
I think that's something that's going to get missed here. Yeah, Sharks got the second overall pick, but 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks this year and next year.
Assuming we don't do a big trade.
Well, there you go. As of right now.
As of right now.
I just think, though, one more thing on the draft lottery. It makes me realize, and was William Eklund 7th overall, I want to say?
4th, right?
4th? It's a lot of years here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Will Smith, 4th overall.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Okay? So that's what...
I apologize on behalf of...
That's where we were at. But obviously last year, to get the number 1 pick when it was Macklin's year, right? I just think that makes a day like today even more special in retrospect. Like, you start getting sentimental about seeing what we saw. And by the way, buried the lead, Calder finalist, which is almost not even a surprise.
That's right. I would agree. And look, we don't want to compare our first to anybody else's first. I know that's a popular thing to do on social media. We are very happy with the pick that we got. If anything, I think Macklin has probably overperformed at the ridiculous high expectations he already had. Clearly being a Calder finalist is one way to do that, but I think it goes beyond well of his performance on ice. Just the matureness, the poise, the way he's acted just shows that he's going to have a long and successful career.
Okay,
and we're going to get another fantastic player in the top 3.
Absolutely. From hockey to construction, let's talk about 2 projects.
Constructing the team to constructing the building? Is that
pretty much?
There's a lead?
This tank has always been a construction project in a great way. There's always being upgrades being done. One of them is a place where I've probably eaten 1,000 meals plus in my life.
Is it really
the media room? Yeah. Oh, a lot of dinners here.
Okay.
You're overhauling that. You're overhauling a new kitchen here. You're also doing a lot of things at Sharks Ice. Where do you want to begin with all the construction going on?
Well, so one of the things that most Sharks fans probably know is we don't treat this building as static. There's an old joke that you paint the Golden Gate Bridge, you start at one end, you get to the other, and then you turn around and paint again. That's kind of the mental model that we've always had of the SAP Center, which is rather than waiting 10, 20, 30 years like some buildings do and then do a gigantic construction, we do usually spending roughly $10 million every summer upgrading something. Yeah. And one of the things that has differentiated this building more and more over the last couple of years is the variety in food and beverages. But and we try to go local authentic rather than national chains. One of the issues with this building, though, it was designed as a single kitchen building. So in the bowels of the building, there's really just one kitchen that serves everything, whether we're up here in the penthouse lounge.
Is that true? Of course it's true. You're telling me that. I don't believe that.
It seems unbelievable.
Right.
The other kitchen that exists is in the Net Upselly Lounge, and we sometimes try to utilize that, but that's busy with the Net Upselly Lounge. So we needed to add a second kitchen, and the press room had a medium-sized kind of warming kitchen in there. We're expanding that area dramatically and also redoing the press room. But it's really the kitchen that drives that, so that we can increase the variety of food that we do here.
I can't wait to have meals next year. Okay, and the other thing is, over at Sharks Ice, total overhaul of the team's facilities. Spoiler alert, I've already gone through and taken all the before video.
Oh, yeah.
So to show everybody what it used to look like, what are going to be the highlights of what it's about to look like?
Like, for those of you who've been in San Jose for a long time, you probably remember that once upon a time, Sharks Ice San Jose was a single sheet of ice. And then it seems like it was incredible.
Right.
And then it was a 2-sheet of ice, which then became the Praxis facility. And then we went to 4 sheets. And then, of course, 3 summers ago, we actually built Texas Arena and also added a 6th sheet. So if you're new to hockey or new to the Bay Area, you go 6-sheet sites, okay. But it wasn't always that way. That means about half the building, 2/3 of it is fairly modern. But the original first 2 sheets are actually quite old, and the infrastructure around them as well. And like we do here at SAP Center, it's time to modernize that. So we're essentially redoing all the locker rooms that the players use during the regular season and the off season, the medical facilities where Greer and his team hang out, some of the research areas as well, storage, et cetera. We're gutting it. If you were to walk in right now, it's basically back to sheetrock and moving some walls around as well, and we're building it renew again. And again, spending in excess of $10 million in that area as well to bring it up to sort of modern standards. And then got to paint the Golden Gate Bridge. Next summer, we'll do other stuff in the rest of the building.
So I think the last thing here is the point that you're getting high draft picks, you're getting the players you want. This is becoming a desirable place to not only play, but obviously come to a game, right? You're improving the experience. But I do feel like that's a theme of the last year. All of a sudden, this team is a desirable spot to land, and hopefully that number 2 draft pick will feel that way when he gets picked.
I'm certain he will, but we'll let him say it in his own. I mean, you've heard it out of more and more players. I think Toffoli said it the best. He didn't just want to be a rented player. He wanted to be here, which is why he asked for and got a 4-year contract as well.
Right.
There are many other players that have raised their hand and expressed interest in coming to San Jose. So we're on the way up.
I'm going to go to sleep tonight and be just fine with number 2. Like I didn't know how to feel today, and like coming off number 1 last year, like how could you top that? You can't.
You can't.
I feel good. You feel good?
I feel quite good. In fact, I feel like we'll still get the player we want.
All right, Jonathan, appreciate this. Talk soon.
Thanks. Take care.